Hey, everybody. I want to talk to you today about cancellations because I had a really fascinating conversation with a business owner the other day. We were working on that business owner's profitability. And when we were peeling back the layers of where all the money was going, one of the things we recognized that was eating away the profitability of the business was really high levels of cancellation. And I did another recording on this not long ago about, have you been adding up how much cancellations are actually costing in your business? And at a really surface level, cancellations can be symptomatic of a lot of things, right? So at a surface level, cancellations can be symptomatic of a really poor appointment management process, right? Not getting deposit collection, not reminding people of their appointments. Like there's things that you need to do to reduce the likelihood that a client's going to cancel their appointment, right? Whether they're a new or an existing client. But what we're really dealing with here, when we look for the underlying factor, because we can work with the symptoms and get some improvements. Don't get me wrong. You can work on your deposit, put a deposit policy in place. You can remind clients earlier. Like it will definitely help symptom manage, right? But I strongly believe that there's a bigger problem at play here, okay? And that is commitment, the variable of commitment. So when you have a client that is not really committed to a process, the likelihood that they're going to deem their appointment with you as disposable is really high. And we see that, like when you look at the prevalence of new client cancellation versus existing clients, particularly when you're marketing. One of the biggest bottlenecks that we experience at Beast Mode is appointments not going ahead, right? Like that the business owner does all of this work, gets the appointment in, and the appointment never actually goes ahead because the client cancels, right? And that's despite maybe having booking processes and deposit collection and all of that sort of stuff in there. They've managed the symptoms and they've still got the problem. Because what we're dealing with here is levels of commitment, right? A new client doesn't really typically have any level of commitment whatsoever beyond maybe an interest in a service, which is not commitment. It's interest, right? Interest is not any sort of level of investment until the client actually gets in and starts working with you and, starts to have their problems resolved and starts to see results. That's when we really see, someone shifting from that interested to a more invested type mentality, and this is where also when you have existing clients, their likelihood of cancellation is a lot lower than new clients that actually haven't yet established levels of commitment, right? So the question is this: you can manage from a business operations perspective appointments to reduce the likelihood of people cancelling their appointments. But are you really dealing with the real issue, which could potentially be low levels of commitment in your clients? Now, I can see lower levels of commitment in clients in businesses that don't map out journeys. They literally have clients swinging via rebook from appointment to appointment, right? I see high levels of cancellations in businesses that are relying on online booking, low levels of commitment, right? Clients aren't committed, they book when they like. So my question to you is, if you have a cancellation problem, is it really a commitment problem, right? What we're dealing with here, fluctuating or low levels of commitment of clients to actually show up and get those needs met, and that all comes down to the consultation process and the way that, your client planning, their treatment planning, their service planning is mapped out in a way that's actually enticing and exciting for a client to want to invest. So cancellations Could it be an underlying symptom overall of the fact that your clients do not have the levels of commitment that they need to overcome barriers to make sure that they can attend their appointments? Because let's face it, like when you have an appointment booked somewhere, you're probably going to face all kinds of adversity trying to get there, particularly if, you're a parent or you've got other responsibilities, you've got, the demands of work life, and, things compete in our life for our attention. Now, what you don't want as a business owner and someone that is in the business of changing lives, what you don't want is the minute that there is some sort of barrier there for a client, that your appointment is the first one on the chopping block. And for some business, that's actually the case. That for whatever reason, when clients experiences roadblocks to getting to their appointment, they don't overcome them, they just cancel. Too hard, get rid of it. Easiest thing to remove out of my calendar. So how do you become so valuable that you're the last thing that they cancel, that they move heaven and earth to make sure that they get there, And I think it's really fascinating, like for the hairdressers out there, right? How high are the levels of commitment for clients to attend their appointments at Christmas time? No one's cancelling a Christmas appointment for their hair. High levels of commitment, right? Low levels of cancellation. So, how do you do this? How do you, make yourself indisposable to your clients? And I really think that speaks to the quality of your service and your treatment planning, your quality of your service, the way that you're engaging with clients, the way that you're framing what they need to do to be able to get the outcomes that they're looking for when they come to you for help. Really, really important stuff. Something to think about.